So this is the end of the third round situation, beginning of the fourth round of our campaign game. And this is looking from the same perspective as our last videos. And we have two very distinct front lines there, and Patrick's going to take up the commentary.
Okay, so starting on the northern front. The northern front has been, I would say, and probably everyone would agree, incredibly scrappy. Very, very scrappy, with lots of pretty intense battles all along, and manoeuvring and counter-manoeuvring and out-manoeuvring. But it's ended, started well for the Russians, but has ended with the tables turned somewhat, and the Russians out of position and looking like it's going to be impossible to make any more progress, and may even have to withdraw. That's the northern front. Southern front has gone probably much better for the Soviets, with an initial assault on withdrew.
That'll do.
Very successful initial assault, which forced the Poles to withdraw very quickly, and the Soviets have been basically chasing them for the rest of the game, using their orders to get back into position. So for the rest of the turn around, it's been quite quiet while everything's gone into position, except for the very end, where a major battle was fought, and the Poles inflicted a stinging loss on the Soviets. So
the Soviets fell into the trap.
The Soviets fell into a pretty massive trap.
Where they moved in here to attack with quite a large force of strength, 10 I think it was, and the Polish brought in reinforcements from Ternopil and Rivne, and it was a major pitched battle, and it was a stinging loss for the Soviets after a good round.
I'll admit that freely. And the other interesting thing about this situation is how the distance between these two supply depots makes it quite difficult for the Soviets to approach this part of the line, especially without taking this city, this depot here. So
or that depot,
or this depot here. That's right. Yeah. So
because there is this gap in the Polish line, but there's that supply problem.
It's very difficult to take advantage of.
And another thing that you need to be aware of is the fact that 4 units, 10 strength, were transferred at the end of the last game from northern to the southern front, and that's played a very big hand in how things have turned out here.
Absolutely.
So the northern front's a bit weak for the Soviets due to that shift in troop numbers.
From the Polish perspective, on the southern front, which I was commanding, Patrick launched the round with 2 major offensives that really hammered me, threw me right off guard, snookered me really, and so I spent the rest of the round force marching backwards. Fortunately, he wasn't able to catch up and carry on with the attack, and in the meantime I was able to reorganise a lot of troops. So although it was a good round for the Soviets, I'm confident now that I've got a reasonable front line, although I'm outnumbered significantly. Both Hamish on the northern front and me on the southern front have got some reinforcements to get up there to the front line. Points wise, it's probably 2 points, victory points to the Soviets, and significantly the Poles have initiative both on the north and southern front, and we've held that the whole game, and that's been absolutely huge in terms of advantage, as Patrick will attest to.
It makes a massive difference, yeah. And it saved them and allowed them to
withdraw,
react,
really. Exactly. Yeah.
And it's allowed me in the southern front to withdraw in order.
And if they play it well as well, it's really hard to reverse that initiative gain as well. Yeah.
There was one moment on the southern front when Patrick gained the initiative, but he'd only lost it virtually straight away again. He had only a fleeting glimpse of it.
Part of that as well is due to events have played significantly in their favour in terms of initiative.
So that's the situation on the outskirts of Warsaw, approaching Warsaw at the end of round 3, beginning of round 4.